Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday, April 17th, I believe, which is crazy. Can't believe it's already April. We were just talking about that group side. Can't believe it's already, it feels like January. So anyway, good morning. We're going to do a 4-hour sweep, back out a couple time frames and take a look at the higher time frame stuff, see what's going on. See what levels we're looking at for the week. So we already know what we're going to do. We already know what decisions we're going to make when we get there as the week plays out. Monday morning analysis time. Let's just get right to it. Bitcoin, it's high. It's up there. We're almost to the level, been waiting for months for this to get up here. This low 30s, 32 to 34-ish. I think there's a lot of people waiting for that to get above that consolidation. I think a lot of people are going to get stopped out. There's going to be some people trying to catch this gap and get wrecked. Don't be a breakout trader here. Probably not a good idea. Really starting to slow down. Looks good though. It was a good run up, good game. That was a good run over the last week. It's good. Kind of in a consolidation right now. Not really much to do. There's not much to say here. I mean, we could probably refine these levels down a little bit, but it's more higher time frame. What's going on right now? We'll just call it somewhere in there for now. But really, we're looking to get above that. We're looking to get above this shelf into this gap where there's less structural volume built, and the money's going to be up here in the low 30s. And we're trying to splash around in that money, right? So, as far as Buckhorn's concerned, and we'll watch equities. Again, the U.S. equities market is the driver of crypto, whether you want to believe that or not. It is. So, maybe a little bit more here. We'll be looking to sell the high of the week if it pushes. It's going to need to go. Another 10% probably. If it does it, I'm not buying it here, hoping that happens. Not buying the highest high in a long time. We don't do that here. Stop it. Get some help. Buy the top. We'll see what happens there. A little bit more. We're kind of right in between a range. I could see this maybe going lower. It's just not sorry guys. It's not a good idea to mess with this right here. We're at the bottom of a potential range, but I think it's pretty clear. We're at the bottom of a range, so it's not really a good idea to sell this right now, even though there's, this right here. It's just not a good idea to try to hope that happens and it just bounces and runs up and you just sold the bottom of a range. It's also not quite there on the short yet. So be looking for a higher high. Probably going to be a good trade coming though. Like a very good trade coming on Bitcoin. Come on, Buckhorn, let's go. Dollar, we got a bunch of stuff we're looking at here. Some of this isn't going to make sense. Mr. Slithery the snake is slithering down the mountain. Dollar. Got a possible lower high coming here. Now, this is some stuff we were looking at from last week. We made it back up into money right now. Makes sense. It makes sense that we're consolidating on the dollar. I would be looking for this to run higher before I started selling into it. We got some very good trades on the dollar here on Friday. Crushed it on Friday. 500 plus pips verified on Friday. Crushed it at the end of the week. If you skipped out, especially for group members, if you skipped out from Thursday and Friday, you missed it because we killed it. Literally 500 plus pips on between Thursday and Friday. Thursday's entries and Friday morning's entries moving on into to Friday killed it. Dollar. It was a tough week last week. Honestly, it was a tough week. We were just talking about that. From the beginning of the week, there's nothing happened Monday, Tuesday because everybody's waiting for CPI on Wednesday. CPI was kind of a dud. We got one candle and that was it. And then it went flat. And then, Thursday we were positioning on all those things. And then Friday it all hit. So it was just like we had to wait till Friday, but man, didn't make up for it. Made up for it a lot. So the dollar, I want this to go lower. However, it hasn't done it yet. I'd like for this to break this low, and so I can back the truck up, beep, 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 load it up. Uncertainty right now. We're in a range consolidation on the dollar after a big move on Friday. We'll see if it can poke a little bit higher. If it does, this is a iffy range in here. There's some lower time frame stuff going on, but I think there's a possibility of a lower high when we get up here. Still haven't cleared out this low yet, and that this gives me pause here on whether or not to be buying into the dollar yet until this pulls back down. We'll see. We're in the money right now. There's not a lot to say here early. However, we already know what we're looking at. We already know what levels we're going to be watching. We'll make decisions when it's decision-making time. Moving on. The yen. This turburglar.com right here. Waiting for this to get back to the lows on the yen. Let's see. Some of the stuff is from lower time frames, and really, if that's going to hit that, we're weeks away from that. Structurally, it's pretty far down. Like, we're pretty low over the last couple weeks, and we've made a new lower low now, and it's time to start paying attention. However, we're still not back into the lows. This is probably a weekly level. It's probably why it's there. Right now, we're just looking at the 4 hour. As far as levels we're watching to the upside, I think it's pretty obvious that this is going to be a thing here. Hey, good morning. What's going on? Good morning. I think it's pretty obvious that we'll watch it there, and you could refine this down lower time frames, but when we start getting up into the traffic there, we'll probably make decisions. Other than that, I think there's a weekly level down here that we'll watch. As far as our effective trading range right now, we are on a lower low, and I'm leaning to the upside here on the yen. However, I know that there's a possibility that we break a little bit lower this week, and then we're going to back the truck up. However, right now it's not a short. I mean, you're not going to sell something that's already down on a lower low, right? It's just not smart. Don't sell the bottom. Trading 101, don't sell the bottom. Don't buy the top. Aussie dollar, that's a mess. This was a scalp from Friday. That's actually in the green. I have it closed on one account and it's open on another. It's up. Interesting. That's my position. That's the most in profit. That's funny. Aussie dollar. How about that? Let me get this out of the way. This doesn't look good. Obviously, we're looking at macro stuff here. Nailed it. I mean, we're all over this the other day. I mean, we pretty much call that as being hit. Get this out of the way. This kind of stuff is generally not good when you get a big high volume drop and go flat into a consolidation. A lot of times that'll take a second leg down, especially when you get just a very well-defined flat range like this. A lot of times it'll take a second leg, and we got the swing low sitting here. It just makes sense. Man. Well, and also with the dollar, right? Where the dollar is. If the dollar were to get stronger over the next couple weeks, and again, these are 4 hour candles. We're just looking at the macro, what may happen here. What are we looking at this week? What are we looking at today, even over the next couple candles? What are the next 3 candles likely to look like on the 4 hour chart? Because that's all that's left in the daily candle today. So we got our 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. After this, we got our 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And after that, we got our 1 p.m. to market close at 5 p.m. So we have two more candles, our 9 to 1 and our 1 to 5. So what are the next 2 candles likely to look like here? What's most likely, we'll say? What's most likely over the next 2 candles? Not a lot of information, right? There's not much that we could guess here. So we're going to leave that one alone. Boy, did we nail this the other day. We caught the high on euro dollar, crushed it. Would still be in it. My basket personally closed. I know some other people are still in this trade. However, I would be looking to get back in it. Just nailed it on the high. Hit it Thursday and hit it again Friday, and boy, were we right. Still possibly looking for a stronger dollar. So if the dollar goes stronger, it's probably going to come down. So we already know where our money is. We're looking at money below there. We're looking at money below here that we're consolidating in right now. Not really a lot to say at the moment. Would stay short on it, or at least be looking to potentially take a lower high. We'll see. Again, generally, when you get a sharp drop with a flat consolidation, a lot of times there's going to be a second leg of that move to the downside, and we'll be watching probably right here on that, and we'll see where we are within our weekly range. You cheat for a minute and look at the is okay. Yeah, so much lower. So there's a potential for this to come all the way down here this week. Statistically, we have a potential low of all the way down there. So let's keep that in mind. What we don't want to be doing right now is buying this right this second. So we'll skip it for now. We'll just trying to figure out where we are. We got some levels here. Button. What that was, it slid the chart. Accidentally hit a button. Want to know what that is. Consolidation right now. It's a mess. Don't mess with it. Right this second. Probably not a good idea to make a decision on dollar trades right now because they're in a very tight consolidation after a big move on Friday. Euro yen. All right, so this is something that we've been watching for a couple of weeks now. We're way up here on a high. All right, I'm going to propose a theory here. Tell me if it seems ridiculous. What if that, just what if? What if it was? What if it's just a range? Sellers on the top and buyers on the bottom, and we're in the selling now, and just don't realize it. On looking at a 1 minute chart, you're not going to see this stuff. So what if we're on the high? Like we're in the sellers now. These are, again, higher time frame levels, probably a weekly level that we're watching. But as far as the 4-hour chart is concerned, the yen is also very low. The yen as a currency index is incredibly low right now and has a lot to gain if it were to retrace. So we want to be very careful on this week. Euro yen. We're not looking to buy this. We're looking to sell the high of the day every day. Trying to throw you a bone here for YouTube. What do we have here? Euro pound. Just selling. Clearly been sellers in here. We'll just call it there. I mean, I think it's, pretty easy to see that. If it were to go higher, be watching that was unresolved. There's going to be a whole zone of selling here that's unresolved, and whatever whole mess right here. But really, we'll watch the top end of it somewhere in there. Project this out. So if we run out above that today or this week, then we'll know what levels we're watching. On the upside to the downside, it's going to be a bunch of stuff, but we'll see if this is within range. Where's that within our weekly range? Okay, so potentially farther than that. Yeah, so we got a lot of room here. We're right in the middle of a big macro range on this. Just assume that we're in a big consolidation here, and we're right in the middle of it. If you drew a line down the middle, we're pretty close. So you have equal opportunity here both ways, probably. But right now, I want to be careful with this. Probably don't want to buy the top right now. And that doesn't mean it's not going to go up a little bit, but it's just probably not a good idea. And we'll watch this. There's been a lot of move up here last week because of the yen weakness and euro strength. This was a compound issue here. The euro is very strong. It has been over the last couple weeks. And the yen has been very weak. So this has a lot to lose potentially. Want to pay attention to this one, probably euro pound. I mean, euro yen and euro pound. Just thinking, talking about the yen. We were watching that one. But the euro, the point here, the euro has been very strong. The yen as well. But the euro, you'll start to see a pattern here. The euro is very likely going to start pulling back a little bit. I would definitely watch euro yen, which is what I was talking about, but euro pound as well, because of where it is, and you'll start to see the pattern emerge here of a whole bunch of very high euro pairs, and what that tells us is that we need to be watching for euro weakness coming in. This is crazy, right here. Euro Aussie, we've broken every high there is to break, going back a long time. So there's, careful with this. This is just about to the point where this is going to be a longer term swing trade. If you're into that kind of thing, it's not really my thing. I'm more of a day trader. However, we want to be aware of what's going on. Anything higher here, and this doesn't look very good right now. Anything higher here, we're looking to sell the high of the day every day. As far as what we're looking at on the downside and the upside potentially today and going into tomorrow, we'll watch there. Going to be some buyers in there, and then anything above the high, it's just probably not a good idea. I'm not even worried about buyers right now. Just look at profit taking points on the way down. Same thing, Euro Kiwi. Mr. Slithery the snake is slithering up the mountain. He's up the mountain, he goes down the mountain, he goes up the mountain, he goes down the mountain. Slithery is up, higher up the mountain. Where's Mr. Slithery the snake gonna slither to next? Which way is he gonna go? Ask a 5-year-old. See if he gets it right, or she. See if they get it right. Euro Kiwi. We'll wait for this to hit the high. I'm going to be looking to sell the high of the day every day. It's already marked. We already know this from last week. It's going to continue to sell the higher highs. Euro CAD. Same kind of situation. This is incredibly high right now. And all over this one. We're in the money. Yeah, we're in the money over here to the left. This is some older analysis just to make the point, but we're distributing in a higher time frame area here. Got some lower level time frame levels here, it looks like, from something else, but that's going to be a thing to watch. Good. We'll watch that, but other than that, above the high, it's a big range, nothing right this second. I would be looking to buy if it would go lower. This is going to be a long, very likely. And we saw some other CAD pairs, and we'll get to that in just a second. Some trades we took group side that are in profit right now. Second. Where is it? Yeah. So Euro CAD, the euro has been very strong. I would be careful with it. I wouldn't be as worried about this one as something like pound CAD. And moving into the pound, pound yen, again, we're waiting to flush this turd up here somewhere, if it'll do it. That was from last week. It may not make it. The yen is very, very low and has a lot of room to retrace. So if this would spike higher, we're going to be looking to sell the high the week, the day. Got levels on the downside. There's nothing really to say here. Once you go back a little too far here, once you go back a couple months, I mean, it's just the whole concept of supply and demand breaks down. There's no reason to even look back a few months, because you would be assuming that this money is still there from 6 months ago and it hasn't moved. Nobody's taken any profit. Nobody's moved any positions, rolled it into something else through all of these news events, Fed decisions, and think about it. Think about the logic. of whether or not that money's still there in the same configuration 6 months ago or however many months ago. Doesn't make sense, does it? Boy, that one triggers people when you explain the reality of supply and demand and how that just doesn't make sense once you go back a little too far in time. But pound yen looking to sell the high of the week. You know what does matter is statistics. So we're gonna sell the high of the week when it gets up there. All this is stuff from last week. Yeah, so we're looking to break the high, and when it breaks the high, then I'll be looking to get into it. Other than that, it's going to be a short. There's zero chance that I'm looking to buy pound yen. Skip it. This pound Swiss makes a lot of sense. It's going to for a lower risk trade within this week context, within a weekly chart. This is some daily candle stuff down here. There's some daily levels back into here. That's why this is marked, and we're watching it to see if this is going to hold or not. Price action, lower time frames kind of makes sense. There's really nothing to do, but we're looking to make it up to that consolidation this week. It's well within range to do that. I'm going to be looking to buy the low of the day every day until this goes back up. The idea being that we're going to move from, this kind of transition here where it goes from lower low to a higher low. We're trying to figure out where that's going to be and catch this move that's very likely going to happen. Again, imagine a range like this, and we're at the bottom of it right now. We're just trying to move back up through that range. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. So we're going to try to catch that. Low risk, very low risk. Just going to wait. If it's not today, we'll try it again tomorrow. Going to be looking to buy the low of the day every day. Pound dollar, the hatchet of truth has spoken. That was a very good trade on Friday. We just caught the higher high again. Look at it. Just look at it. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Look at where it is. Way up in the stratosphere. Caught the high on Friday. If you weren't here, you missed it. Hundreds of pips potential. Got a consolidation here. It's probably going to go another leg down. There's really no reason to do anything here, but look at the lows. I mean, every time it breaks a low, we'll look to take some profit, but just going to be selling pullbacks, basically. Going to be selling green candles. Right now, there's not much to do. Again, if there's only 2 candles left within our daily candle, or within our daily time frame, our 9 to 1 and our 1 to 5 before the market closes for the day, or rolls over for the day, that our daily candle closes, we only have 2 candles left. So what are those 2 candles likely to look like? What's the most probable today? And it's hard to make a decision because we've just got this little crap range right here. Not much to say, right? It's either going to go up or down. That's my analysis. Not much to say. There's no information. Okay, now on to the thing that is the most attractive today. Pound CAD looks great. Where this is, we had a lower low in the money all the way out to the daily chart. We got a new low. Mr. Slithery the snake has slithered down the mountain because he's a slithery little snake. And where is he likely to slither to next? Where is he going to go? Ask a child and see if they can figure it out. He's farther down the mountain now. Within weekly range, our potential for the week is going to be up here. Our potential weekly high statistically. It also happens to be in a dense consolidation here. So what we're looking to do is buy this for a retracement this week. And every time it makes a lower low, we're going to try it again. Because we already know that probability is on our side for a retracement. And we get a dense consolidation up there that just so magically happens to be the high of the week. We'll see. You know, every time this, if it breaks the low, we're going to try it again. And other than that, like there's really nothing below us here. Not much there. So we would be looking to enter in any break of the low down here. And it's already made an equal low, but any break of this low back here, March 23rd, you know, just going to be looking to buy the low of the day every day. And it's probably going to go. So this is a very good attempt, at least here for early Monday. Just trying to jump into here. And this made sense on lower time frames. We don't need to get into all that right now. Pound Aussie, nailed it. One of the crazier moves that's happening right now. It's not a trend line. We're just illustrating stuff. I don't do trend lines. I used to do trend lines, boy, years ago. Boy, I was the laser light show master about 5-6 years ago. Holy cow, was I wrong. Wow, was I wrong about trend lines. I was trying to figure it out. Like, why does this do this? Like, why does this trend line do this? Then you learn, then you understand it. It has nothing to do with the diagonal line. It's a linear progression of price over time, and time is the factor. Markets move up and down in blocks of price because that's how order books work. It's how contract settlement works. It doesn't move diagonally over time. But when you add time in as a factor, it gives a diagonal line, and then you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Then you just completely never use a trend line again. You know, and I understand it can help you understand where your higher highs and lower lows and stuff like that. But the line has nothing to do with it. The linear progression of price over time just saved you years of misunderstanding. Pound Aussie, markets move in blocks of price like this and like this and like this. And when you draw a line across them, it looks like a diagonal line is happening, but there's really something else that's going on. It has nothing to do with a diagonal line. The line means nothing. It's just connecting the time factor in the vertical movement of price up and down over time. A linear progression of price over time is why a trend line looks like a trend line. Pound Aussie, crazy short here. You can see the line in the sand here. Very easy to identify what's going on. Had a range consolidation here, some news probably, and a range consolidation right here. We've gone into another range consolidation right here. What we don't want to do is be buying into this right now. We've stepped down off the cycle. We're at the top of the range right now. A lot of potential room here. Infinity and beyond to the downside potential on this. Huge higher high. It's rolled over and started the cycle over. You know, so we've got a higher high up here that's dropped into a consolidation. A lot of times that'll be the high of the cycle. So what we're looking for is for this to step down a little bit more. Probably to come back into this kind of low like this, right? We haven't seen the right side of the chart yet. It might look like this, like a big consolidation. Distribution at the top, but we're looking to step that down in the cycle right now. We're only looking for shorts, unless you're trading very low time frames. But within a day trading context, we're probably really only looking for shorts here. I would stick it short off the top. We're still there. Anything higher, just going to be selling the high of the week every day. Every single time it makes a high of the week, every week we're going to sell it. Right now, doesn't look good. We'll see what happens. Killed it on Friday and Thursday. Thursday and Friday, nailed it. Pound Kiwi, same. And then nailed it the other way. We caught it short off the top and then caught the bounce on the bottom for another 160 pips or something like that. Yeah. Killed it. Ran all the way to target. 168 pips. Just ran this one like it was our job. and then just got a small piece back in, just trying to catch a high. However, we're consolidating right now. It's not really much to say. If it were to go higher, I would look to sell it. I'm really looking to sell higher highs on this every time until it drops. Not much to say. Aussie yen, equal highs up here, pretty well defined. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to see that there's nothing but selling going on up here. So what we're not trying to do is buy this up here. I'm not trying to buy the top of a consolidation at the top of a macro range. You know, we're in a consolidation right now, right? We're at the top of it. Every time price has gone up here, there's been selling pressure. Now zoom out on the macro. Every time it's gone up here, there's been selling pressure, and that doesn't mean that it can't pop higher, but it means that I'm not willing to risk my capital long here, knowing that the yen is very low and likely to take a significant bounce. So if the yen gets stronger, the Aussie relative to the yen is likely to be weaker. If we have a stronger yen, then Aussie yen is probably going to be weaker. So what we don't want to do is just buy the top. We'll watch it. Again, we're in a tight consolidation. We've only got 2 candles left on the daily chart. There's not much to say. However, as the week progresses, we need to be setting up our charts too. As the week progresses, we're going to be watching that. And we'll watch anything higher. If for some reason it goes higher, it's just going to be a sliding spectrum of doo-doo brown up there. It's still going to be a short. If it were to spike higher and run up, it's probably just going to slam right back down and do that. I bet you we'll end up at 89. So we'll watch that. We'll watch that. See what happens. Range. Okay, so we got a lot of potential to even go back and break this low within the weekly range. Let me mark that. Target that low. Next, CAD yen is even better. Again, the yen is very low. We're way up here. We got, you're watching that money above the shelf right there. Won't get into too much detail here, but we're going to be watching this, especially group side. We're going to watch right in here. We can get to that area. Pretty terrible arrow. So as soon as we can, if it will go, which is crazy to think that they could get there from here, I'm definitely not buying it now. But if for some odd reason it made it within the weekly range too, if for some reason this did run up again, which would be crazy, then I'm gonna back the truck up. But right now we got a bunch of higher highs, big spike high. Zero chance I'm buying this. I'm not doing anything. I'm only looking to sell the high of the day every day on CAD yen. I'm not buying it. This for a second. Within today's candle, you know, what are the next 2 candles likely to look like here? We just rejected for a third time here. We've got 2 more candles left within the daily chart. What's likely to happen? It's hard to say. I think that might be a little bit, maybe not. That's within range. So, you know what I mean? What are the next couple candles probably going to look like? We've got some CAD news tomorrow. That's another thing. CAD CPI, the monthly and yearly prints, I believe, are tomorrow. So might jump into this a little early. We'll see. I'm looking for that stronger yen first. We're in the money here too. We're in the money right now. This is a short to me personally. I would take a low risk short on this with a smaller position size and just let it go. Matter of fact, while we're doing this, yes. All right. Oh, well, yeah, I guess I could. I got the risk managers available for MetaTrader 5 now. Did a lot of work over the weekend. I got it ported over to MetaTrader 5, so it's MT5 aware at this point. I was going to say I could do that. Let me just look real quick. Let me see something. I'm going to take this CAD yen. Yeah, I'm just going to take a little nibbler on it. Whatever. Just a little nibbly doodah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. Just putting in some little positions on my live account until we can figure out what's going on. We've got a consolidating market after a big move on Friday, but this makes sense. Other than that, I'll just sell the high of the day every day. Low risk. Aussie CAD. Here's one that we're watching. We're waiting for a low here. Just again, got just lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low again. What happens every time? Every single time. Without fail. Every time. Mr. Slithery the snake is slithering down the mountain. He goes up the mountain and then down the mountain. He goes up the mountain and then down the mountain. Right now, he's at the bottom of the mountain. So we're going to be looking for entries here. Going to be looking anything lower, anything that makes sense. I'm already in it. I'm already in this one. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I took this. Yeah, it's up. Whatever. Small piece. I'm just looking to hit 0.1% target over and over and over and over. I got a little ways to go. Hopefully by the end of the day we'll get there. The easy way. Dollar CAD. Obviously good entry from Friday. I mean, look at that. Would you look at that? There is a potential level down here that's within our weekly range, I'm sure. Yeah, it's within the range of the week. So we'll watch that. Just in case it goes lower, I would be willing to back the truck up. Right now this doesn't look bad. We got a big push off the low. We're going into a consolidation. It's probably going to run a little bit higher up into here. Previous lows back here too. Kind of makes sense. Whoops. So we'll keep an eye on this. Dollar CAD. I want to be long. I'm pretty sure. Thought I took that one too. Maybe not. Maybe I'll have a little, whatever. What's a micro lot gonna hurt? Maybe if it goes, I'll hit target, and if not, then I'll go cry about it. About my micro lot. Dollar CAD. This is probably going to be a thing. We'll watch this. I would watch for this kind of a range to hold here. We got a spike low, consolidation. We're looking to buy the bottom of the range for the second leg up in the cycle. We're looking for this to be the low of the cycle. And maybe we'll step up a little bit, and we're going to target, price action wise, we're going to target that swing high right there. It's also kind of an equal high potential. Where is that within our weekly range? Makes sense. Top of the week. So we'll target that. We'll look to buy the low of the day every day until it makes sense. We'll try the low of the consolidation first. See what happens. Already in it. On the other account. So let's see. S&P looks like crap. It's at a big high up here. It's not something I would be willing to buy. We do have higher lows, but this is just, it's not great right this second. Had a very choppy kind of distribution-y kind of week last week. It really didn't go very far. We're just right back in some sellers, higher time frames. I would just be careful with it. If it spikes up, then maybe I'll try to take a retracement on the higher high. However, it's just not something I'm willing to put a lot of risk on right now, to be honest. That ain't it right now. Nope. Yeah. You know, you would be buying something that's very high, hoping that it goes higher and doesn't reject like that and smoke you on your position. So I'm not buying the top of a range personally on a higher high in macro structure. No, thank you. If it runs up, then I'll make a different decision. Above above any consolidation or something like that, I'll make a decision. There's so much room that this could go. It's hard to make a decision right now. It's been flat. We'll skip it for now. The Dow, my guess is it's going to be a short. I would rather weight my capital allocation to the downside than to try to buy something that's already up. And again, we're not talking about 1 minute candle stuff here. We're looking at within a day trade. If I want to get a day trade, 50 to 100 pips, what are we looking at? Dow actually did take a short on this morning. Small piece. And I want to see if this is going to hold. I want to see if it's going to make a lower high and roll over, just to see. There's nothing to do but sell it, in my opinion. And you can go back a couple months and look at, where it's sold off in the past. However, we'll watch the range tool levels here because that's going to give us a much better idea on now. We're trying to be predictive and not reactive. We want to predict what's going to happen and not react to something that happened months ago, where all that money's been taken profit and moved and rolled into other things, and try to figure it out now, not try to react to what happened before. Huge difference. We'll see on this. It's right in between a swing high and a swing low. Just very simply put, we got a swing high here and a swing low here, or right smack in the middle. You have equal opportunity to get stopped out both sides. So there's no disproportionate risk versus reward here. So we'll skip that one. I like the short. However, look at the VIX in the 17s. Yikes. Been a minute. Gotta go back over a year for that. VIX in the 17s. Get ready for the volatility, boys and girls. Here we go. Or wolves, or whatever you identify as. No hate. To be inclusive. VIX. Come on, VIX. Looks good. So, again, this isn't a directional indication of the S&P 500, but it's an indication that there's likely going to be some people betting on volatility. They're going to start insuring their positions basically on the S&P 500, just in case there's a highly volatile move coming, and there's likely going to be, and we also happen to be way up here on a crazy higher high. So careful here with the stock market. Look at the VIX, way down in the 17s. That doesn't happen very often. Does not happen very often. So time to pay attention. Going to pay attention this week to the equities market, the dollar, the yen. Look where everything is. All makes sense. All the picture is really starting to get clearer and clearer and clearer. Oil, we talked about this probably being a short. It's not the best entry right now. We just talked about Saudi Arabia and the stuff going on between China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran. There's a lot of oil positioning going on right now, geopolitically. So don't really want to stand in front of it, but it's up. It's already high. If it were to run up a little more, I would probably try to take a little day trade position. It's probably just not a good idea to mess with it right now. We're distributing on a high. We figured we were going to pop up here, and we did. So now what? Just missed the short on Friday, but that was it. We were waiting for this and just got in something else probably and didn't take it. This looks like crap. This looks like this is going to come down. So group side, you can see what's going on right here. This kind of makes sense. I would only want to be short oil. I wouldn't buy into it for any reason. I would wait. Silver and gold, obviously, you guys know what happened on Friday. Rip to the top buyers. Warned everybody. Took the trade too. Nailed it. We killed that. We caught the high. Silver right now, it's in a consolidation. Not much to say. If it were to retest or break the high, we'll try it again. Gold. Nailed it. Nailed it on Thursday. Caught it the first time on Thursday. And sat through it on Friday. Took it again on Friday. Bang. Took almost 2.5% out of gold just on Friday alone. Rickety wrecked. You guys really want to be buying this up here? Stop it. Get some help. If this runs back up a little bit more, we're going to be looking to sell it again. So really not much to say here. We're looking for, see what's going to happen. This kind of stuff, sometimes the right side of this chart hasn't been printed yet, and you can get a consolidation like this, and people think it's people think it's bullish, and all they're doing is just buying the top of a range. Back in a previous dense consolidation. Now all these people who missed it are trying to get their money back. Everybody's trying to buy it right now, and it's just going to roll over and do this again. Run back into a consolidation, probably take a second leg down. It'll be back in the high 1900s, and everybody's going to wonder what happened. And we're still going to be short. So careful with this. Careful with it. We'll watch and see if for some reason it were to run back up. That's going to be a lot to ask, given where the dollar and the equities market is right now. Careful with this week. This one's going to hurt people. This is in a place where people are going to get hurt. Gold. As far as the index, we'll skip that. The euro is very strong. The euro is very high. The Swiss franc is very, very high. So we're watching the Swiss franc and the euro for some potential rollover back to the downside. So if we get that Swiss franc and euro weakness coming in, we'll know how to position on that. Out today? I don't think so. Yeah, no, nothing's closed. Nothing's closed. Looking better. In the green, just not by a lot. You have very low risk on right now. It's Monday. We have really no catalyst this week at all. Just taking some things that will probably play out later. At some point, they'll be in profit. Not really very many great trades right now. Which pound CAD, pound Swiss. Pound Swiss and pound CAD make the most amount of sense right this second, and they're obviously going. Let's go. Right? Made sense here, group side. And we'll get back to that stuff in just a second. Look at pound Swiss. Let's go. This thing's about to rip, son. So anyway, that's our macro outlook. What are the Cliff's notes here? Like, what did we learn? The dollar's probably at some point going to end up higher because it's been down for a long time. So I don't really want to stand in front of that moving train. Careful with the dollar stuff. The yen, same thing with the yen. At some point, this is probably going to end up higher. It's just not perfect right this second. Definitely watching Swiss yen, Euro yen, everything against the yen, but Swiss yen, Euro yen might be special trades. They are face melters potentially. So nothing really as far as the dollar is concerned today. Most dollar pairs are going to be pretty choppy. However, a stronger dollar continuation, would put things like euro dollar, Aussie dollar, pound dollar, put them all lower. Not really the best entries right this second. We'll see how these next couple candles play out. We've already caught them off the top from Friday. Yeah, really not much to say. We'll watch levels on the way up and the way down. Got a lot of stuff that's in the middle right now. Things may change. Analysis may change as the week plays out here, but this is just our initial Monday morning seeing what's going on kind of thing. I think we got a couple ideas on where we're heading. I don't know. That's pretty much it for right now. We're going to switch over here and go back to group stuff, see if we can catch some trades within the daily candle. I don't know. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It's going to be a good week this week. I have a feeling. We'll try to get back to this and see where we are. Maybe we'll do a YouTube streaming day this week. Just get so busy and got so much going on between writing software and doing the group side stuff. We just get so busy taking trades in the other side that just don't really have much time to do it. So anyway, everybody have a good day, and I'll see you later.